Welcome to another training video from XMPRO. Today we will be looking at the chart control and how to use it in App Designer. It is one of the most used controls in App Designer. If you want to use it, you can simply search for it in the Toolbox, and under Basic you will find a control called Chart. You can drag it to the place where you want to add it, and then if you save your app, you will see that you have an empty chart already. Now, in order to display some data inside, we will see how we can configure this chart. So I'll click on the chart, and in the block properties, I have a few options to configure, starting with appearance, data source, and data. Before we go into appearance, let's give it some data so that we can see how it looks. So in the data source, I have a few page data options that are available to me. I will choose the sensor values one. And then the next step that I need to do is, even though I have assigned a data source to my chart, it will still not do anything because it has not been configured for any series. In order to add a series to the chart, I have to come to the data item, accordion item here, and in C's I have to click plus. When I do that, you will notice that I have a few options, starting with the name, what I want to call this series. For example, let's say I want to say temperature. Then I can give it some color, for example this, and then I have an option to choose among different type of charts which series type I want. So for this example, I'll choose bar type. Next, I have to provide my x-axis and y-axis values. So in this case, I'll say ID is my x-axis, and on y-axis I have a value coming in called x. I will also choose some of these options so that we can see how they look. We have an option for show labels, and we will just see what that means in a minute. Show points is also there, which I'll explain when we create a line type series. Lastly, we have ignore empty points, which basically says that if a point does not have a value, it should not be displayed, rather than displaying empty space for it. So now that I have a series, I'll save this, and we can reload the chart on this side. And you'll see that the data has come through. We chose that color, and we chose a bar series. You can see the bar series here with my legend. And since we chose the option to show labels, we can see that each bar has a label on it. Now let's jump into the appearance options. First of all, I have a rotated option, which if I choose will change or switch my x and y axis, like that. Next, we will see that for x-axis I have certain options here, specifically that axis line, what color should it have, and I can specify that color over there. I can also choose should that axis have grid lines, and we'll just see how they look like. And if I want grid lines, I can also choose a color for them. Show labels basically says if these labels should be displayed or not. And if you want to choose a color for those labels, you can also do that. Lastly, we have a value margins enabled. I will enable that this time, and you will notice that this time these bars will not start at the very end of the axis. So let's save that much and refresh here. And you can see that my labels are gone, grid lines have come in, and the bar there is a slight different distance between the bar and axis. This becomes more visible if you're using charts like line chart. So let's continue and add a few more options. In y-axis, we have more or less similar stuff. We can choose axis color, line color, which is this line. We can choose if it should display grid lines. And if we choose, you'll see that there will be grid lines going vertically over here. Again, we have color to choose for the grid line, and if we want to show these labels or not. We can also, for the y-axis, choose a minimum and maximum value. The chart will automatically try to adapt with the maximum value it finds and display you the y-axis accordingly. But if you want to have a static value for it, for example, I want my chart to always be range from 0 to 150, I can do that by choosing that. And a very related option to that is how big of a jump each step should have on this axis. As of now, you can see there is a 10-point jump between each interval. I can change that and choose, for example, 30. Lastly, around the legend, I can choose if it should be visible or not, and also where on the chart should it be displayed. If I change it to display at the bottom center, you will see that it will move over there. The legend has come across over here, and we also changed our range on the y-axis, and you can see it is now going from 0 to 150, and each interval is of 30 now. So those are some of the appearance options on the chart. Now, chart can display more than one series, and you can choose different combination of series. We added a bar type series here. Let's go ahead and try to add another series, which will be, let's say, line chart. We can call it pressure. We can give it some color. And this time we'll choose line. We'll keep the same x-axis. We'll change the value for the y-axis. Now again, I can choose labels, which would display labels like that for each point. Points, I will just show you what means. Ignore empty points is same as before. Now if I save and we refresh on this side, we expect to see two items in our chart, which is a bar chart and also the line series going across, which you can see. We chose show points, and that points are these round circles. So that is how you use a chart control in App Designer. Thank you so much for watching.